Hi, everybody. Today I want to muse a bit about peace and war and what we can do on a personal level to bring about peace in this world. There's times for peace and times for war is a statement recently made by a political leader. And independent of what our opinion might be on that particular political conflict, we might feel powerless in the face of such a comment and the perception that whether or not this world or parts of it are at peace or at war depends on the decision of just a few people and is completely out of our own hands. And yes, to a certain extent, we are not in control of what's going on. And at the same time, we have a big power and a big responsibility when it comes to creating a peaceful world. Because what we see on the outside is a reflection of our collective inner worlds. The sum of all our inner worlds is what we see reflected on the outside. And if you look around you, you don't have to look very far, maybe even in your own family, in your own relationships. There's a lot of war going on. People being at war with each other, divorce, even decades after something happened. And if you look deep enough inside yourself, you might even find that you are at war with yourself. And often, looking at the war outside in the external world becomes a deflection, a way to escape that inner reality. We start to project outside, we start to point fingers, we might even start to make war at the ones making war, fighting with them on the inside, as a way to not look at our own little worlds, at our own relationships, and even at the relationship we have with ourselves. And that's what I always like to remind people of. That if we are truly at peace on the inside, we are not gonna create war. We are not gonna resonate with war. We are not gonna engage in it if someone comes with that energy. And so a very important point here is also that there's a big difference between not being at war and truly being at peace. These countries that are currently at war have never been at peace. They might have not been fighting actively, but there has never been true peace. And that's true as well for most people. They might not obviously engage in conflict, and under the surface it's still dwelling. There's no inner peace. There's a lot of turmoil. It's just a facade. It's just a mask. It's just an impression. Wherever there's true peace, war cannot exist. Yes, you might get angry. There might be conflicts in your life, things that trigger you. And still, you are not going to engage in war. You can be angry, in conflict, triggered, everything, and still remain in love. It's not so much what we do, the action. We can do the same action coming from a completely different place. And so if you want to make this world a better place, you need to start with yourself. You are at war with yourself if you reject parts of yourself, if you judge yourself, if you suppress, if you fight yourself, your hunger, your appetite, your desires, your body. You're suppressing your own life force, you're destroying your own temple, sabotaging it through self-destructive habits, eating, lifestyle, thoughts, belief systems, relationships you choose, jobs you choose, places you choose. Look deep inside, examine yourself, examine your close relationships. Is there someone you're at war with? And if yes, how can you come to a place of true forgiveness, of understanding, looking at both sides of the story, looking inside what's being triggered for you, what you're projecting outside, and take it back. Take it back. You are never going to resonate with something that's not in you. So if you have conflict, war inside, you're going to attract it so that it can become visible. And usually then you fight on the outside with something that's going on inside. So that's my reminder today. We do have the power to create a more peaceful world, a world without suppression, a world without invasion, without crossing boundaries, without violating, without abusing, suppressing women or other minorities or you know, if we don't have it inside, if we don't suppress our own feminine, if we don't abuse ourselves, if we don't violate ourselves or other people, look at also how you might be invading spaces. It happens all the time, even in so-called conscious people. It might also happen to me at times, and we all have the responsibility to catch it ourselves when we do it, when we are crossing boundaries, when we are invading, when we are manipulating and abusing. If we do it on the small level, of course it's going to happen on the big level as well. So if we want to avoid it on a country, on a state level, we have to stop it on a personal level. It cannot exist if each and every person does their inner work. At the very least, I hope now you feel a bit more empowered. Maybe a bit also freaked out because you do have a responsibility. And it's good to be aware of it. We should never settle for less than full consciousness and full love. And it starts on the inside. Lots of love to everybody.